Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Is It Called Wine Time? It is.
Still called Wine Time.
Still called Wine Time. I think we're at this point, I think that's going to be its name.
Coming to terms with the reality that we now make a Instagram TV and YouTube series called Is It Called Wine Time?
Question mark, apostrophe.
Yes.
Not apostrophe, what do you call that? Exclamation mark.
We live in a new era. This is the new world order. Is it called Wine Time?
Welcome. Let's very excited today because we've got a brand new release from a producer called Haddow and Dineen. This is their debut release, 2018 Pinot Noir and Pinot Gris. 2018s, yes. I had to check that.
Yeah, they're very fresh.
They're from
They're new.
Tasmania.
Yes.
Their vineyard lies very close to the mouth of the Tamar River, so right up on the sort of northern coast. And it is a collaboration between Jeremy Dineen, who is a winemaker at Joseph Cromie, or was, and Nick Haddow, who is famous for the Bruny Island Cheese Company.
Very good cheese.
Yeah, if you've ever come across that, the cheese that he makes there is absolutely incredible. He also has a brewery on Bruny Island, so he's into all things fermented and cultured, and so it was a natural progression for him to kind of jump into the wine game with his mate Jeremy. And this is their first release, Pinot Gris, Pinot Noir, The Grain of Truth, and The Private Universe. So let's jump in. First, we'll start off with the Pinot Gris. So from what I understand, very, very small block of Gris. They are what they call... they don't call themselves natural winemakers or minimal intervention either. They use the term vigilant inaction, which means I assume that they kind of step in when they need to, but otherwise they let things happen quite naturally.
Really like that term.
Yeah,
I think it speaks to, like, we've tried these wines before, the quality of the fruit that goes into these wines pretty amazing, and I think vigilant inaction speaks to the quality of fruit that they're using because it requires minimal human input to deliver on these two beauties.
Yeah, and when you're looking to kind of express the terroir of a specific site or region or, whatever...
Such an intriguing note.
You don't need to be involved, but if the wine starts to kind of veer off into kind of faulty territory, you absolutely do need to step in and fix it. Or give the whole kind of vintage away, because no one wants to drink faulty wine, right? So...
Ideally not.
Ideally not.
Yeah.
Some people do, that's fine.
I mean, there seems to be a crowd for everything at this point, but
there really is. But yeah, so basically,
clean.
Super clean, minimal intervention. They're not fined or filtered or anything like that, but I think they do use a little small amount of sulfur during the winemaking process. This Pinot Gris, the Grain of Truth, as they're calling it, was hand-picked, whole bunch pressed, wild yeast ferment, and yeah, as I said, unfined, unfiltered. So yeah,
and first time in barrel too, right?
Yeah, I think there's a small component that goes into barrel, and then blended back in. But what I love about this wine is its kind of clarity and precision of flavour. It's really precise. Some Pinot Gris can get a little blousy, particularly if it's picked very ripe. It gets quite kind of cloying almost. This is so delicate and fine. It's kind of got this almost like filigreed kind of purity to it. Absolutely stunning wine.
Yeah, it definitely smells super refined.
Yeah, it's got a really...
there's a real delicacy to what you're smelling on the nose.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's this beautiful kind of quartzite minerality, that sort of really kind of crystal kind of mineral note to it on the nose. In amongst that sort of fresh pear, there's a sort of light, very light, subtle kind of blossom note.
I was going to say this. There's a floral aspect to it, but fresh pear is probably a really good counterpoint to that.
Yeah,
the floral thing that I'm getting.
Exactly.
I think we're having it a little cold, so it does feel a little tight. Maybe it'll be a little bit more generous on the palate and try to knock some air and life in there. But yeah, the fresh pear thing, like almost underripe, freshly cut.
The balance and shape to this wine is so good. The acidity absolutely comes through on the palate.
Yeah.
That sort of minerality that you can smell on the nose translates into a really clean and focused kind of acid line.
Yeah, it's a very kind of like Tassie-driven core of acidity.
Yeah. But then there's this amazing sort of delicate fruit up front, and then an incredible kind of leesy texture at the back.
Yeah.
So they've obviously done a little bit of batonnage on this to give it some body, which comes through on the finish into a kind of almost kind of milky lactic note. It's really good. It's one I have to say one of the best Gris that I've tried in a long time. I'm not a huge fan of Gris normally. This is exceptional. This is a beautiful wine.
Yeah, it's certainly not a variety that I would probably go and seek out
exactly.
for a bottle at home, or taking out with other people, something that's kind of more crowd pleasing. Grigio seems to work really well for that because it tends not to split the pack, whereas this is quite an individual wine, and for good reasons. I mean, it's complex.
Loads of character. There's layers. It's every kind of sip. There's a new kind of layer or flavour coming out.
Yeah, more Gris like this, please.
Yeah,
more Gris like this.
Absolutely delicious.
Yeah,
and I think for a debut for this label, it's absolutely stunning. And they've really hit the ground running here.
Yeah, pretty thoughtful release.
Yeah,
there's a sparkling that's supposed to come out later in the year that I'm quite looking forward to.
Yeah, well, based on this, absolutely.
Yeah,
that's super delicious.
They get it.
Yeah. Well done, Nick and Jeremy.
Yeah, I know a couple people on staff have taken bottles of this home recently, which is not normal for us to be taking Gris home, but a few of us have now. So it kind of speaks to the quality of the wine and the complexity and the interest that's in this bottle. It's not your average Gris at all.
Yum. All right. So we move on to Private Universe Pinot Noir. Once again, handpicked 50% whole bunch in this, and then fermented with wild yeasts. It goes into barrel, a portion of which I think is new, unpasteurized, unfiltered, unfined, all that sort of jazz. Once again, vigilant in action, which I think is a kind of perfect term.
Vigilant in action in a private universe.
It's quite poetic, isn't it?
It is quite beautiful.
Now, obviously, Tassie Pinot has a huge kind of following at the moment. This is one of those regions that's kind of become fairly kind of commercial, I suppose, in the release. So the danger often is that with the increased popularity, a lot of wineries start to kind of increase their production and not always in the best way. But I think, again, these guys are so small, they're just starting out, that they really have that hands-on boutique kind of artisanal approach, which is what we're all about here at Haddow.
There's intention to these wines.
Exactly.
They're not cashing in.
Yeah.
There's a point, there's a purpose, there's a reason they exist.
Yeah.
And they're highlighting plots of land that follow that same ethos.
So yeah,
this is incredible.
We got this in maybe a month ago?
Yeah, probably
a month ago.
We've been sitting on them for a little bit.
But it's already become one of the best-selling, the best-selling Pinots.
Anyone that we've offered, especially the Pinot to, has been coming back and purchasing them in volume. Smart people. And can't say I'm shocked. I mean, this is the kind of wine that you'd want to be drinking as often as possible. Not just because you're into Tassie Pinot, but if you're just looking for a Pinot that really over-delivers for the price point.
This is it.
Yeah.
It's got that incredibly beautiful aromatic nose that you get with that Tassie Pinot, that sort of potpourri, dried petal.
Yeah, definitely potpourri dried petal.
Yeah.
But it's so delicate as well.
It is. It's really delicate. Really kind of beautifully, I don't know what the word is, ethereal? I don't know.
Yeah. Private universe.
It's stuck on the name there.
Oh, I love it. Private universe.
I mean, I don't know where the names came from, Grain of Truth and Private Universe. But,
yeah, shed some light.
But no, I don't know. But
no. But they're welcome to kind of fill us in on.
Yeah, if someone knows why they're called these, please enlighten us.
Yeah.
But I have
also,
to.
if someone knows why this is it called Wine Time?
enlighten us.
Please enlighten us to
I think
the
that's
logic
easier.
behind
It's
this
probably
decision.
easier to work out because we didn't know what to call the show.
Probably a little bit more immediate, yes.
Yeah.
But the wine.
I think Private Universe though is a great name for this wine because it's draws you in, and you do get into this kind of world of red and black fruits, of spice, of this kind of earthy complexity underneath.
Yeah, it doesn't need food or people.
Oh, you could sit here in a quiet room, maybe a padded cell, and just absolutely enjoy this.
Suit it perfectly.
Oh wow.
I haven't even tasted yet, but
Beautifully vibrant up front. There's a
so much happening.
wonderful kind of burst of fruit.
There's such lift, but such depth.
Yeah.
Like to get one and the other with so much detail, concentration, but bright, and so long, like still unfurling. And we've just opened the wines.
Yeah. I would love to see how these look
You
on
know?
day two because I
I
think
feel like you might have.
I think both will just, I feel, given the kind of quality of the wines, really unfurl and open up.
There's a lot happening in these two
Yeah.
bottles. They're really, really good. I mean, for
But
first
so
release,
expressive as well. Like they're not closed or anything like that.
No.
They're really expressive, and I feel like both have more to give, which is a sign of a good wine.
Yeah, they're definitely. I wouldn't say designed to be drunk now, but they're able to be drunk now. You do not need to put these down. I would love to see what either of them look like with time. I mean,
Even just in a couple
aged
of
Gris.
even just in a couple of years, or I wouldn't sell them for a huge amount of time, but I reckon they would definitely sell
straight
well. The vibrancy and the kind of purity of fruit on that is just absolutely delightful. And there's a kind of classic umami, mushroomy kind of character at the back as well, which really just adds another layer of complexity. That beautiful sort of some people call it forest floor, leaf litter, whatever you want to call it. The Pinot thing. And absolutely delicious.
Yeah, earthy.
So there you go, Haddow and Dineen. Keep an eye out for them in store. I can't recommend these highly enough. Both the Pinot Gris and Pinot Noir, absolutely exceptional. If you're a fan of Tassie wines, these are an absolute must. So check them out. That's all from us for this episode of Is It Called Wine Time? We'll see you here next time.
See ya.
Bye.